Good morning. Today we're going to look at the VF750F clutch rod seal repair. I guess that's what you call it. And the clutch rod, if you look at the your bike, there's a cover on here, and it goes through that seal right there, which tends to leak and then dribble oil everywhere. Okay, and there's where the water pump goes, and that's where your front drive sprocket goes. And this is the back of the cover of this bike. So let's start over again. Now we'll look at why you don't want to do that keyhole repair. So let's imagine that this is all assembled. I'm waiting for my seal, so I'm not going to reassemble it just for the video. But you have on top, you have your clutch slave, which is this guy right here. And if you're going to take it off, put a caliper on it so that you can keep the fluid in. Otherwise, if this comes out, you get air in there and you have to re-bleed that. All right, it's a lot of extra work. All right, so you take off your lever, your clutch shift lever, which is down here. You know what that looks like, okay? And then what you do is you drain all of your oil. Leave your filter if it's a good filter. Drain all of your oil. When that's done, you drain all of your coolant from the rad, and then you also disconnect the two lines that are here and one underneath, and this is for the water pump. Okay, so now imagine you've got this stripped down. You can then remove the 8mm screws that takes this cover off. Put that right here. And that will reveal your drive sprocket, which is right here. So loosen the back wheel a bit so that you can remove the sprocket and just put the chain aside. I've got to re-grease my chain, so it's not a big deal. So I've got this big sprocket here, and it has a 14mm here and two 10mm there and there. You see, that's what it looks like. And that's comprised of a number of pieces put together, so don't change the order. All right, so there we are. So we've got that off. The clutch rod is in here. All right. Now here you have a number of screws, bolts, I guess is what you call them. You've got 12mm and 8mm. The 12s go in the larger holes. There's one there, there's one there, there's one there. And the 8mm go there, 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 and there's one in here. These ones here, these are for the cover. All right. Now, what you also want to do then is once you get everything off, there's a small pry spot right there between that and the neutral cover here. They say these switch covered, and I can tell the last person tried it because there were some scratches there. So if you can get a tool back there, just gently nudge it. And also what I did is I tapped the outside with a dead blow hammer, not a real hammer because you're going to crack it. If you don't have a dead blow hammer, take a proper hammer, then take a block of wood and just put it on here and just give it little taps, just little taps. It won't come out because the rod here, your shift rod, or sorry, your shift lever is actually through the body, so there's no way you can pry it off. You can just give it a little tap and then just pull it straight out. You can put a screw in here and put a screw in here, and they can be, pulled out like a puller, just to be gentle, and then pull from the bottom as well. So once you get all that off, oh, I want to mention one thing though as well. On your bike, you'll have a oil line right there, okay, and that feeds oil to your bike. Take that out and keep the banjo bolt and the washer, or we get a new washer. In this case, I've had an oil modification done, so I don't need this. Mine is plugged up. The neutral safety wire is back here. Be careful you don't pull that off by mistake. All right, so once you've got that loosened up, you can gently remove this cover. I'm working with a greasy hand and another hand holding the phone. Sorry, let me get the water pump off first. Okay, and that's actually held in place by two long 8mm. And then there's a shorter one there. The shorter one, actually that's a longer one. The shorter one on top, that really just holds the casing together. And the longer ones go through the casing and into the actual frame, you see. So if you've got that off, since you've already loosened one, you might as well just loosen up the other ones and change the O-ring or gasket or whatever you got in there, because you don't want that leaking. Okay, so then you can remove this piece. And this is how some people do the repair. They cut slots into the body there, you see, and that is to allow an O-ring to be squeezed through and into the back. Now here's the problem. Oh, and by the way, just to let you know, the gasket is here. There's an oval O-ring here. There's a small round O-ring there. Don't lose those. If they're flat, get new ones. If they're still protruding over the lip, they probably have life. Now the problem is that when you squeeze that seal through here, all right, you tend to squish it, and that makes it out of round. Okay, so that could actually prematurely cause damage. And another problem is that when you get it in there, you have to then pull it forward so that seals against the face here, the lip. All right, so if you've ground this too large, you're still going to get oil seeping through the sides. And if it's too small and you have to force it through, you've basically taken your round seal, forced into an oval, then back into a round seal. And then when you're trying to pull it forward with whatever tool you have, a hook tool, whatever, you will almost always damage the inside lip of the seal. Just imagine that this is the seal. I threw my old one out. And what happens is you have an inner lip in the seal that faces that way, and it has a small spring around it. And if you mangle that spring, because it's really not very strong, you will damage the seal and it starts leaking again. This is the main seal that goes around your drive, I don't want to call it a drive shaft, but your drive sprocket. So I'm probably going to replace this anyways, because to do all this work and not replace that is kind of pointless. It's going to be a few bucks, but if you have oil dribbling through here, then it's going to come down, because this is in this direction. It's going to come down and make a mess anyway, so why do all this work just to go halfway? So now that this is all cleaned up, I'm going to put the proper seal in there with some bonding agent. Permatex or something similar, which is oil resistant. You have to use something that's oil resistant, and you can't just use just regular RTV unless it's specified for oil use. Clean it all up, put it in there, let it dry overnight, and then I'll get the new gasket cut. I'll just cut a new one out of the material, reassemble it, and reassembling is the reverse, which is you put this piece on first, over there, okay? You put the water pump over there, okay? You put your drive sprocket over top of that, okay? And then you reconnect your lines for the water lines, or two, okay? In your case, if you have the non-modified oil passages, then you put your oil line back on here. Make sure everything is torqued out properly. Then you put your cover on, make sure that's sealed, after you put your chain on your sprocket, of course. And you may have to recount your links to make sure that it's even, but you can do that later. And then you put your clutch rod back in, which goes there. You put your clutch shift lever here, back in place, and you're all done here. Then you want to put your slave back on. Okay, if it had any weeping at all, you have to rebleed, otherwise okay. And then move to the back where you loosen your wheels, and you just make sure that you count your links. You may have to pop a link above or pop a link below just to really sure that you've got equal links on the other side. Otherwise, when you're running, you're going to have uneven tension. Degrease everything, because this is all going to be smelly and burn off. Just a note, you do not have to take off your lower chain guide, because this actually fits through the bolt here that connects the body to the frame. And while you're there, also you might as well inspect your gaskets here, because they're a real pain to get to. So I hope that helps. Do not do the keyhole method. Take your time. It's only a couple of hours worth of work to remove all of this and to put that problematic O-ring in more easily. I ordered 3 from Honda, anticipating that I would do the keyhole method, and I thought, well, that's kind of dumb. The reason I'm ordering 3 is because the last one leaked, because the previous one leaked. So it's just, all you're really doing is putting a band-aid on it. Better that you do it properly and have the bike running without oil fouling everything up. All right, well, I hope that helps. Enjoy VF and VFRs and VF750s and whatever, and ride safe.